JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. 2 men killed in confrontation with police in Rosites. 2 men were killed during an alleged gun battle with the police in the Rosites community on Monday. According to a police source, the incident took place in an area of the community known as Ice Cream Shop, where the men reportedly opened fire at lawmen and were fatally shot in the exchange. The officer was unable to provide details regarding the exact time of the encounter. The incident comes amid an ongoing national police crackdown on violent crime, during which more than 200 people have been killed in similar confrontations with the security forces since the start of the year. 1 killed, 7 arrested following foiled Western Union outlet robbery. A man is dead and 7 others are in custody after a licensed firearm holder foiled the robbery of a Western Union outlet in Ope on Monday morning. The deceased man has been identified as 23-year-old Orlando Beverly of King Western District, St. Andrew. According to Superintendent Ainsley McCarthy, 2 of the persons who are now in custody are suspected to be the mother and sister of one of the men involved in the attempted robbery.
About 2:30 a.m. today, licensed firearm holder foiled an attempted robbery at Oak Bay in Portland. The men broke into a business place. He challenged the men, and during an exchange of gunfire, 1 man was hit. Police quickly arrived at the scene and took control of the area. The injured man was assisted to the Port Antonio Hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries. The driver of a motor car suspected to be one of the vehicles used in the robbery was seized by the police and the driver taken into custody. Further investigations and operation led to the capture of 7 other persons and recovered a 9mm pistol and several rounds of ammunition. 2 of these persons are suspected to be the mother and sister of one of the culprits, whom it was discovered was shot and injured during the attempted robbery. They were attempting to move this man from the parish. It is to be noted that none of the culprits are from Portland. They all have addresses in St. Andrew, Kingston, and St. Catherine. Let me make it clear, the Portland police is not to be trifled with. The police will spare no resources in protecting the life and property of Portlanders. So the warning is clear. If your intentions are not good, do not come into the parish of Portland.
Residents of Hope Bay commended the police for their quick response. The residents said other businesses in the seaside community have been the target of thieves. It is understood that this is the 3rd attempted break-in at the Western Union outlet. JDF soldier dies following Linstead crash. A member of the Jamaica Defence Force JDF has died from injuries he sustained in a road crash along the Linstead bypass on Sunday. He has been identified as 25-year-old Private Omari Junius, who resided in Riversdale District, St. Catherine. According to reports, about 2:30 a.m., Junius was driving a Toyota Axle motor car along the roadway when he lost control of the vehicle and crashed. He sustained severe injuries and the motor car was extensively damaged. He was assisted to the Linstead Hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries. The Linstead Traffic Department is investigating. Meanwhile, a man died as a result of injuries he sustained when he was struck by a car on the Anchovy Main Road in Portland on Friday. His identity has not yet been released by the police. Preliminary reports are that shortly after 5 p.m., the man was pushing a bicycle across the road at a blind spot when he was struck by a Mazda motor car. He was pronounced dead at hospital. 11-year-old among 2 killed in motor vehicle crash. An 11-year-old boy and a 37-year-old man lost their lives in a 2-vehicle collision in Manchester on Sunday evening. The deceased have been identified as Ose Connor, 11, and Jermaine Catherine, 37, both of Battersea District in the parish. The crash occurred about 5:50 p.m. at the intersection of Winston Jones Highway and Old Kendall Road. It involved a 2015 grey Honda Civic driven by a 59-year-old Coletta Campbell and a white Toyota Allion operated by a 23-year-old Ricardo Campbell. According to police reports, the Toyota was traveling west when the Honda drove out from the minor road into its path, resulting in a collision. Connor and Catherine, who were passengers in the Honda, sustained severe injuries and later died at the hospital. Both drivers survived the crash. Suspected drowning in Croftsdale, Clarendon. The Croftsdale police in Clarendon are investigating the suspected drowning of a man in a river on Sunday. The deceased has been identified as 30-year-old Ashman Adams of Ballards Valley Junction, St. Elizabeth. According to police reports, about 3:30 p.m., Adams went to the Arthur Seat River in Croftsdale. It's reported that a fully dressed Adams jumped into the river and subsequently got into difficulties and drowned. The police were called to the scene. The body was removed from the river. A post-mortem is to be conducted. Manchester farmer charged with assault. 54-year-old Warren Morgan, otherwise known as Gary, a farmer of Marley Hill district in Manchester, has been charged with assault of common law following an incident in his community on Saturday. According to the Mandeville police, about 2:30 p.m., an argument developed between Morgan and a relative over a goat pen. During the squabble, Morgan pulled a machete and raised it at the complainant within striking distance of her. The woman became fearful and made a report to the police. The area was visited and Morgan was arrested and subsequently charged based on the complainant's statement. His court date is being finalized. Double killing Joel's rural St. Andrew community. A pall of gloom fell over the afternoon in the rustic community of Mount James in St. Andrew yesterday as the bodies of two men, one on the ground and the other in a stream, lay lifeless. They were killed hours apart in an apparent murder and vigilante justice attack, which has since sent tongues wagging. Sounds of wailing could be heard in the bushes where Gregory Henry, a chef, affectionately called Trippy, was covered with a cloth. "Gregory, me never know says the last time we didn't see you. Gregory gone," a relative of the deceased said, as she was being consoled by a family friend. The police were on hand to safeguard the scene, which was nestled in the hilly terrain. About 800 meters from there, police also had watchful eyes on the scene where Henry's alleged killer was found dead in a stream. His identity has not yet been ascertained. It is understood that sometime after 11 a.m., Henry was attacked in a section of the community known as Water Lane. He had chopped wounds to his head and upper body. An angry mob reportedly went in search of the suspect, believed to be mentally ill, and he was set upon. Information received suggests that he was shot and chopped. "A hard-working man was killed. Trippy never deserved that. Man having children them a live for. The next one to come from up here, I come him come here. The people them vex over it," a resident said. "You cannot come from boat, you can kill man who born and grow ya. The people them hunt him down, and him don't know the bush like who live up here. So the police and that Trippy scene, them catch a killer and deal with him. The police them there here had to call him back up," a resident with knowledge of the incident said. The St. Andrew North Police Division recorded a deadly and bloody day on Sunday as there was a gun murder in Florence Hill, Lawrence Tavern. An unidentified man was shot and killed in that incident sometime after midday, marking 3 killings within 2 hours in the division. The police division recorded a 50% decline in homicides as of August 16. 22 murders were committed since the start of the year when compared to 44 for the similar period in 2024. The Constant Spring Criminal Investigation Branch is probing all the incidents. Dueling tax relief promises announced by JLP and PMP. With 9 days to go before the September 3 parliamentary general election, the two major political parties contending for power made huge income tax relief promises to the voters on Sunday night. First, the incumbent Jamaica Labour Party JLP, unveiling its 110-page election manifesto at its rally in Montego Bay, St. James, promised to gradually cut income tax to 15% of annual earnings if it remains in office for a third term. Currently, a personal income tax rate of 25% is applied to annual taxable income, while those whose earnings exceed $6 million pay 30%.
Over time, we will reduce the base rate of personal income tax from 25 to 15% on a phased basis and shift gradually from direct to indirect taxation, which will allow hard-working Jamaicans to keep more of their paycheck.
Then, Mark Golding, opposition leader and president of the People's National Party PNP, announced that, should his party form the next government, it will raise the income tax threshold to $3.5 million.
Now I hear the Labourites are talking about adjusting the rate of income tax. But that is going to benefit those who are very, very wealthy more than it will benefit those who are less wealthy. Because the rate, once reduced for them, means that they will be paying less tax because they're earning more to begin with. We are going to deal with that matter in a way that benefits those who need it most. Under the PNP government that is to come, we will be increasing the tax threshold so that persons who currently pay tax at 25%, if they're earning up to $3.5 million a year, they will be paying tax at 0%. Under the next PNP government, we'll be raising the threshold to give them a tax-free income.
JLP promises to build 60,000 new houses if it wins third term. The Jamaica Labour Party JLP has pledged to construct 60,000 additional houses if it wins a third term in government. This solution to home ownership is outlined in its 110-page manifesto released on Sunday during a major meeting in Samshop Square, Montego Bay, St. James.
So when I got the opportunity to be Prime Minister, the first thing I did, having grown up in an NHT scheme, I gave a directive to the NHT that all NHT housing schemes built between 1976 and 1986 must be upgraded. Their roads must be fixed, their sewer must be dealt with, their exterior must be repainted, and if there are shared walls and there are leaks, those must be corrected. 76 of the 100 housing schemes have already been done, and the other 76 are underway. We haven't said too much about it, but for every Jamaican who lives in one of those housing schemes, they know that this is the case, that we have gone about repairing and upgrading their house. That was the first thing I did, and I did it because I know what it is to live in an NHD house. Now, the problem with housing in Jamaica, and I'm talking now to young people, because we are a society that looks and is led. We look at how things sound and how it feels. We look at emotions. Emotion is good. Emotion shows passion. But we are at a critical juncture now, where if we get swept up by emotion, we can be misled. So I see some young people saying, boy, I like this idea of the $500,000. I explained that. You notice that not come up again. Because it would be an inequity. So what happened to the man who's been working all his life? He not deserve the 500,000 too. It don't make sense. Right? Because you're giving a benefit only to one group, the other groups don't get it. Then now they come with something called rent to own. On paper, it is a good idea. In fact, I already announced a rent to own program under the new social housing program, and that is being developed as we speak. But that rent to own program solves a different problem from what the PNP is trying to solve. Is that any house out there, you can go and rent it and then try and own it after. Let me explain to you. The first thing is, where is the house? The problem is not rent to own. The problem is not finding deposit. The problem is not qualifying for mortgage. The problem is a shortage of housing for people to live in. We are not producing enough houses in Jamaica faster than people are demanding the houses. And this has been the case for the last 40 years in Jamaica. We have a deficit of 150,000 houses in Jamaica. That is the real problem that no fake solution can solve. And the only way to solve that is to build more house in Jamaica. The Jamaica Labour Party started that project. We are on our way with 70,000 houses. The NHT has 53,000 houses in planning, construction, procurement right now. And those houses will come in the next 5 years.
JBNN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.